Hey guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Stylish Designs, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through a tutorial on what I do for my logo design process, how I kind of come up with the sketches, how I think of the concepts, and then the final product and the presentation page. I might split this into more than one episode depending on how long the final video length is, but we'll see. So, to start off with a logo, usually you'll have a client that's kind of asking you to make them something, and usually that's something that's reasonably easy to incorporate into a logo. You just think like do a couple of sketches, look up some kind of just images on Google or whatever to get the rough idea of like maybe what it is, and then you can just kind of go from there. You can come up with a color scheme, whatever. And yeah, so I'm just gonna say that a client has asked me to make something kind of animal-like, kind of happy animal-like. They want to include the letter A. I'm just gonna do A because Alex. A is the first letter, and it's a good letter. So I am gonna use. Let me think. We'll go for a butterfly. That sounds fairly animalish. And we're going to go for kind of minimalistic logo. I've got my tablet here. I'll be using this to sketch with. I'm using Autodesk Sketchbook here. I'm just on the free trial at the moment, but I definitely will be purchasing this. It has been very, very helpful for me. Because of this symmetry tool here, you guys can see we can create pretty cool stuff just with the symmetry. So yeah, this is definitely something I'd recommend. It's really easy to do. I don't know why when the symmetry's on it always just feels like it's much better, like I don't know. But anyway, so we're just going to jump into it here. I'm actually going to move this bit up right up here because that always gets in the way and it's really irritating. So to start with, for me, I'm just going to sketch out a rough kind of sketch of a butterfly. So I guess it's always kind of got two parts, so we'll start from the middle. We'll just sketch out, so it's come to a nice point there. It's usually got like a kind of small first bump. This will come in. Maybe it could be a wee bit more rounded, so it'll come down a bit more like this, and then it goes out again. Something like that. Oh, my lines are getting pretty heavy. So this is not really rounding as well as I was hoping it would. And then it will come up like that, something like that. It's just a rough kind of butterfly shape. You guys, this is just a sketch, remember, so you guys can just mess about until you're happy with how the sketch is kind of looking. Yeah, I think that looks alright. Do a wee bit more of a point in there, a wee bit more of a point here, and a wee bit more of a point there. It looks a wee bit like a kind of four-leaf clover here, but if we add some antennas maybe. I don't know how long these usually are in a butterfly, but they've always got these wee bits on the top, I suppose. Oh, it's not really much of a circle there. Let's see. So yeah, I think those antennas are a wee bit off, but we'll just continue going with this. So I want to incorporate a letter A, so I'm just going to do a couple of A sketches on the side here. We'll just see if we want maybe like a pointed one, or maybe like a flat head one, like a flat at the top. Yeah, I think we'll go for the flat one. So I'm just gonna sketch out a kind of 3D-ish A logo into this. So I'm just gonna start at the top here, kind of create a. Okay, that's maybe a bit wide. Oh, didn't mean to go back there. So I'm just gonna start there. That's probably decent. Now I'm just going to come down. Try and keep that line reasonably straight. Come down like that. Make sure that line is reasonably heavy. And now I think I'm just going to do something like this. We're just going to create a wee triangle in the middle. And then I'm going to cut it there. Something like that. Let's see. Okay, so I've made a wee mistake there. That top bit should be flat head rather than pointed. So I'm just going to do that like this. Let that come down and then in like that. Make sure that's flat at the top. Sketch that in a wee bit heavier, and yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's looking. A kind of A logo. One thing I am gonna do though, how am I gonna get that? Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm gonna take my eraser, which is here, and I'm gonna bring up this size a wee bit, and I'm just gonna cut this off like so. And there we have an A kind of logo. Yeah. Oh, someone's tooting their horn outside. What's going on? Don't know. Anyway, let's continue with some sketching. So obviously you could do maybe some more details. You could throw in some kind of other bits in here, around them like this. So I'm actually just going to round these corners while I'm doing that. And round these ones a wee bit as well. As soon as you put them in, it makes it look way like a wee face. I think I'll leave those out actually. Redo that, and we're just gonna round off these corners, and I think we'll probably leave it as something like that at the moment. Round off these corners a wee bit as well. So that's the logo I have came up with reasonably quickly. I'm just gonna actually, don't want that. We're just gonna go off that and just quickly erase this stuff over here because we don't want that in the final thing. No need to have that. We'll just get rid of that. Lovely. So I'm just gonna quickly save this and I'll rejoin you when I'm in Photoshop. Okay, so here I am inside Photoshop, and I'm just gonna create a new canvas. Control N or Command N if you're on Mac. I'm just gonna do width 1000 by 1000, resolution 72, RGB, all fine, and we'll just leave the background on white at the moment. I'm gonna go and find my sketch, which is here. I'm gonna increase it by holding Shift and Alt, so we're going from the middle out, and I'm gonna have it reasonably big, something like that. Yep, that's looking cool. And now I'm just gonna get started. So I'm just gonna bring the opacity down a wee bit, maybe 65, something like that. And I'm just gonna turn on black and white here, and I'm gonna choose a kind of darker grey, something like that. And now I'm just gonna get started with the pen tool. First of all, I'm actually just gonna make sure this is all in the center. Zoom in a bit and make sure you're fully centered. Maybe it could be, is that centered? Yeah, I think so, pretty much. Yeah, so we should be in the center there, and now I'm just gonna get started on creating my my pen tool lines. If you guys haven't used the pen tool before, I'd suggest go and look at a kind of beginner's tutorial, but I'll go over really quickly here. So basically I'm just going to create a new layer, and I'm going to choose the pen tool, or it's P for the shortcut. I'm going to start by just in the middle where I've created my guide here. I'm then going to click, say here. I'm going to keep hold of my click, and I'm going to drag so I can create a kind of rounded shape. You can then release. I'm then gonna continue this down here to this point, but I'm not happy with that second bit, so I'm just gonna change that path a wee bit like that. I'm then gonna come down and do another one, but again that path is looking pretty horrible. Okay, so that's actually not at all what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to go back and recreate this bit here. So it should be something like that and something like that. Then I'm going to continue this line up here, across, try and make sure that top bit is horizontal, sorry. So I'm going to come down, I think that's about right. And then I'm going to close the path. I'm then going to fill this path. Oh, there's a wee error there. We're going to fill this path, and as you can see, we've got a basic butterfly shape with obviously that A. This maybe I will change later, but we'll see how it kind of comes about. So I'm only going to work on this one side at the moment. So I'm just going to continue working away here. I'm going to throw in antenna up here, which is again going to come from the middle. It's going to come up a wee bit like this, and I'm going to change that to about there. We can just add a circle on top. That doesn't need to be anything special. We're going to throw that down, and then I'm actually going to make it a bit thicker towards the bottom. Something like that. Fill that path in. Oh, it's a wee bit dodgy up there. Try something like that. Yep, so that looks alright, and like I said, I'm just going to throw a circle in the top here so I can get a perfect circle, something like that. Yep, that looks all fine to me. It's probably a bit big, but it doesn't matter, I might end up taking that away anyway. And I'm then going to just group them together, Control G and then Control J to duplicate. Flip it horizontally, get rid of the ruler. We're just going to push it in a wee bit there because that was slightly off. And if we get rid of our sketch, you can see I basically have the rough idea of what I was going for here. Oh, forgot to create this middle bit here, so I'm just going to delete that. Going to come in the same group we're just working in, and I'm going to create that. So turn on the guide again by Control H. We're going to choose our pen tool here. Make sure we get a nice horizontal line. Come down. Horizontal line again. Make sure we get them. Is that right? I think that might be slightly off the horizontal. Yep. That's perfect. Create up there and then up. Create that. And now, if we duplicate that and transform, flip horizontal, come across, that should be roughly what we were going for. So I'm just going to quickly take away the sketch, and you guys can see I have a butterfly logo here, kind of with the letter A in there. Obviously I'm going to do some changes to the final thing, cause what I'm probably going to do, rather than using the pen tool for these outer bits, I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to keep this, so I'm going to take that out because I want to keep this bit, but I'm going to use circles for the rest because I feel we want it to be kind of perfect circles. So I'm going to do something like that, and I want that to be maybe a wee bit bigger. Something like that. And then I'm going to take that out. I'm going to reduce the opacity on this so we can define between the different ones. 65, something like that I'll do. I'm going to duplicate that. Yeah. Kind of bring that down a bit. I'm going to make this one a wee bit bigger. Something like that. We're then going to duplicate this. We're going to convert it to a smart object. We're going to select that by clicking on the item, and then going to group these together and put a, why is that? Because that's not in the right. Fair enough. I need to turn, so I need to turn that back up and then convert it to a smart object. That's why I didn't select properly. There we go. But we obviously want to keep it proper circles on the edge, so I'm just going to come out and do this. We want that to come to a nice point, so I'm going to do something like that. And then, yep, that's looking nice. I'm gonna, oh no, it's not, there's a wee error right there, right here. So I'm just gonna so somewhere we've got the original shape. How have we got the original shape? I don't even know. Oh, there it is. So that should be better. Ah, yeah, because on this we've got that. So I'm just gonna take that away by using clipping layer mask. Sorry, I'm kind of blabbering a wee bit here. Sorry if you're losing me. Can then transform, flip horizontal, and let's see. There we have it. A butterfly, a logo. Obviously it could be a wee bit better, I think, but it's the rough idea of what I was going for, so I'm just going to leave it as that. Today, to finish off my logo, I will just group them together, duplicate, convert to smart object. We're just going to hide that. You guys can see this was the original sketch. This is what we finished with. I'm just going to make that actually I'll leave it the full size at the moment. We're just gonna make it the center of the page, and there we have it. There is my final logo. In my, let me just go ahead and do other Behance logos template. So for my logos in my Behance project, I've got them all, you can see, with a different color background and all reasonably small in the center of the page. So for this one, what color would we like? First of all, I'm going to save it. That might actually help. So I'm just going to save this as GFX mascot. But did I not save it as butterfly A logo or something? Yeah, butterfly A logo. Oh, PSD. We'll just save that there, and then we'll save it as a PNG. Butterfly A logo. And then I'm gonna bring it in, so I'm gonna go and find it. Where did I even save it? Social media mascots, I believe it was. Yep. I'm gonna throw this in, make it a wee bit smaller, something like that. I'm now going to make it white so it fits in with the rest of the my logos. Yep, that's looking alright. And then I'm going to choose a color. So what color? Probably like kind of airy fairy color. A nice pink. Yep, a nice pink I think will do. Now, something I'm actually looking at here is maybe this middle bit. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we could get rid of that. So I'm just going to quickly on this. Actually, no. We'll go back to here and we'll just edit it a wee bit. So I'm just going to grab the rectangle tool. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to create a rectangle going over here. That's not black. We want it the right color. Just make sure that is the correct color. Yes, it is. Excellent. So I'm not sure which one I prefer. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. So it's kind of the same flat theme, because that just kind of comes up and it's a wee bit off-putting, I suppose. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, I think I'll just leave it as it is, to be honest. Sorry, I'm just kind of messing about, but this is the process I usually go through. I will look at it. I will look at it with loads of different in loads of different ways. But I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Yeah, so it's an A plus a butterfly, and yeah, I'm definitely happy with how that's looking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope hopefully you learned something. I feel like the most important thing is that the basic sketch, trying to actually come up with something that the client is asking for, is always one of the most important things in my eyes. Just mess about. If you don't get a sketch you like, then just keep messing. Like, just keep going with it, keep sketching until you're like, oh wait, that's actually a good idea. That's I don't know what I'm doing here. That's actually something that I could work with. So I kind of had this idea in my head already, of what I was gonna do, like an A with a butterfly. But I'm pretty happy with the outcome of this, and I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys learned something. Like I said, the place to make logos is probably Illustrator, but unfortunately I don't have that. I'm definitely looking into getting it, but at the moment I'm just using Photoshop for all my logos, but they seem to do alright. So yeah, I keep saying thank you for watching this tutorial, but I'm going to say again, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, guys. It does mean a lot that you came and checked it out. If you guys did enjoy it, please subscribe below. I will definitely have other tutorials coming out in the future. If you guys have any ideas at all, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the comments below. Like this video too, and yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.